So I got asked a really good question, and it was, Chris, what would you do if you're starting over again, starting from scratch? And it really got me thinking, and that's why in this episode, I want to walk you through if I actually had to start from scratch. And I know people say, everything that I've gone through just has been a great learning lesson. And I go, yeah, okay, that's all cool, but you know what, screw that. If I could actually avoid all the mistakes and do the stuff that actually counts, then I want to actually show you that in this episode. So some of the biggest problems that you're probably facing is you could be wasting a lot of time, and that is your most precious asset. If you're trying to do 101 different things, because if you're trying to build your online business right now, you could be, we were talking about this earlier, when we first started, it was all about like blogging and selling ebooks.
Everybody wanted to be a fitness blogger. That was the goal.
And it was just like, so you could shoot videos, you could be doing podcasts, you could be doing blog posts, you could be posting on Instagram, do you know what I mean, 4 to 5 times a day. You could be trying to do joint ventures, you could be trying to do letterbox drops. There's a ton of things that you could be doing, and that is wasting your time, because the goddamn honest truth is there's only going to be a few things that you should be doing, and then it goes to you could be wasting a lot of money as well. I know I've wasted a lot of money, especially over the last, let's call it at least a decade, on doing a bunch of different stuff, and looking back onto it, it was only a few things that really moved the needle to be able to go through that. So I want to save you time, I want to save you money, and really most importantly, I want to make sure that you actually get to the end result, get to that goal where you want to, because if you're trying to chase a bunch of different rabbits, you're not going to get any of them at all, and it could mean you failing, and that's not cool. So for me, when I first started as a personal trainer, I was 18 years old. I was a PT in Sydney for 8 years. I grew a personal training business, had a ton of trainers working for me as well, worked over multiple commercial gyms, and that was all great, but then I really started to burn out. I hit a wall, and I really started to lose my passion for health and fitness, and I really started just to hate the business that I was running as well. But that's when also I had the opportunity that I just grabbed with both hands, which meant that we actually moved to Dubai. We lived there for 2 years. I started a personal training business, had trainers working for me again, and exact same thing happened. I clearly didn't learn from the actual first lesson.
No, that was it.
I totally thought just moving locations was going to be the answer, and it certainly wasn't. I burnt out even harder, and that's when I actually first wanted to jump online. That's when I first started, because I was dabbling a little bit. And I think it probably was like, say, reading Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Work Week that planted that first seed for me. It's like, oh my God, life could be so much better as well.
Plus you're a dad, right? Like to young kids, so that just your priorities just immediately
massively shifted,
right?
yeah. I was shitting myself, to be brutally honest as well. So I think for me, it was really making sure that when I first started, I was trying to consume so much information. I actually remember, we were talking about this last night with Lauren, we were talking about different podcasts. I was like, I remember the first podcast I listened to when I was prepping for my first competition, because I was doing so much more cardio then, was listening to the I Love Marketing podcast. And it was brilliant, and it totally opened my world into, oh my God, this is the stuff that I could be doing.
There's usually like that one thing where it's like you read it, or you listen to it, it's like the first, piece of content that you read, and it's just like, whoa, like what am I doing? Right?
Totally. That's the thing. So what was it for you?
Well, I actually, it was real early, like right after I graduated high school. Mine was like a little bit different than yours, because I still went and did the whole PT thing, right? But I knew beforehand that I wanted to move past that. So I actually read the 4-Hour Work Week when I was like 17 years old, when I was like working in camp, just making money so that I could go start my own business. So I literally I read the 4-Hour Work Week. I was like, all right, I need some upfront cash. I went and I worked in camp to make a bunch of cash. I was like, sweet, now we're going. And then I ended up, obviously going through the same PT time frame, but I always knew in my head. And then, so it was a 4-Hour Work Week, and then after that,
Tim Ferriss has changed the world with that book. That's sick.
So many people too. It's like, I read the 4-Hour Work Week and it changed my mindset. And it's not like the 4-Hour Work Week is the end all be all, but it's usually the catalyst to get you to start thinking.
You don't know what you don't know, and I think that's when you kind of have that piece of information. Why we want to share with you this stuff right now is because you can suddenly go, oh my God, I can have that. And once you know that is possible, then you can start reverse engineering how to actually get there. So we deal with a lot of coaches that want to start into the online world and start their businesses. And this is where we go straight for the throat. We go for the jugular, and this is what we call the money map, because really there's a few simple things that if you can answer straight away, you know exactly what it is that you need to do. So let's actually answer what is it that you need to do to actually build your online business right now. So in the money map formation, we break it down. How are you going to attract leads? How are you going to attract followers? How do you attract people that is your audience in your tribe? Then you need to be able to figure out how are you going to build relationships with them, because it's not about just getting somebody to see your Instagram post or your video or something like that. How do you actually continue to build relationships with them? Because they need to know, like, and trust you. Then after that, how do you actually make the sale? What is that one event? We call it a conversion event that goes from prospect to client. What is that actual event? And then how do you follow up with them? Because a very large majority of people that come through, like let's say your sales engine, your funnel, your system, whatever you want to call it, not everyone's going to buy straight away, but so you need to be able to follow up with them. But those 4 key factors there all come down to one critical factor. You need one high converting offer. If you do not have a high converting offer, you do not have a business. And I truly believe if you just focus on one high converting offer, you can have $1 million business, and that is as simple as it is. And there are so many other people. I know Russell Brunson, he's certainly one person that's influenced me massively when it comes to that, and he preaches that as well. Now, this is something that we've talked a lot about, and especially when it comes to health and fitness coaches, and something we truly believe in. You've got to get good results with your clients. You've got to be actually good at what it is that you do as well, because
otherwise you don't have an offer. No marketing in the world can help you if your product is shit.
It's so true.
Not gonna work.
So in the Coaches Cartel, the way we actually structure this is because we only want to deal with the coaches that we can help. We know that we can get the best results for. And so, you know, if you go to a really nice, you go to a fancy club, and there's that guy standing at the front making sure he's only allowing in the best of the best into that club, because they have that certain niche, that certain market that they only allow, and to make sure that everybody in the inside is having the best experience. Well, that person at the front that's got that red velvet rope in his hand, that's Josh. Josh is the person that actually does that. You're like the bouncer for the Coaches Cartel.
Basically, if I don't like you.
But that's exactly it, because we need to make sure that you are the right fit. And this is the thing, you need to focus on making sure that you have the experience and the expertise on getting results for your clients. Now, we also see the pendulum swing to the other side, and everybody's trying to learn the latest bicep curl and just constantly going down that route. You've got to be able to. Can you get your clients the best results? And firstly, that comes to understanding what is your market. Because if you have more of a general population market for weight loss, then going and doing strength and conditioning coaching courses, i.e. I was the person that did that so much when I started, was not going to be the best actual input of your effort, time and resources to get the results that you need as well.
Yeah, you have to strike a balance, right? So there's 2 sides of the spectrum. There's trainers that are just all out, full, like by the Bible trainers, and like businesses, they're almost, you know, allergic to it. Like focusing on business is kind of taboo, right? And then there's the other side of the spectrum where it's just, you know, the internet marketing crowd that has maybe gotten themselves into shape once, right? And they just want to build, you know,
got the one photo.
Yeah, they have like the one transformation photo that everybody, yes, okay, you were 14 here and you're 25 there. All right, yeah. No. So you have to find the balance, right? So to be a successful trainer and to actually showcase that you are good at what you do and be able to scale a business and impact people, because that's part of what we do, right? Is to embrace the mindset of entrepreneurship, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Being a business owner is very, very important, because if you don't understand it, if you don't focus on it, and you focus too much on the technical aspect, right, then you're never going to grow. But if you focus too much on the other side of the spectrum, then you're not going to get results, right? So you have to have that balance, and it's a hard thing to do sometimes, right? But if you're watching this right now, you're probably, you know, a good trainer. I hope you are, at least. And so
please be.
You probably need to shift your focus now to being like, okay, I have a system. I get results for my clients. I know I'm good at what I do. Now I need the tools and the plan and the help to actually, you know, take my business to the next level.
Yeah, totally.
Right?
Totally.
Yeah.
No, this is a really, really good point, because this comes to like the third point, and actually getting clarity on what it is that you want. Like we always start with this 2 big starting posts that you need. Take responsibility and get clarity for what you want. And getting clarity for what you want really means what's the type of business that you want? How much money do you want to be earning? What does your lifestyle need to be? How does the business need to be designed to give you that lifestyle and money as well? And this is where, to be perfectly honest, and where we're actually starting to take on profit share deals with coaches, because some coaches, and this is perfectly fine, just want to coach. They just want to be that technician of delivering results to those clients. And they're more than happy to say, you know what, you take all the sales, all the marketing, all that stuff, and you do that so I can do my job. And that's really smart as well. Yeah. But on the flip side, if you're wanting to be an entrepreneur, you're in the health and fitness game, then you need to get clear on what it is that you need to actually do to design the business as well. One thing I was totally not clear on was what is the best business model for me. I was totally just like looking at other people's stuff, and I was grabbing a bit from here and I was grabbing a bit from there, and I was then trying to piece it all together, and it just didn't work as well. And that goes to the fourth big point that I want to be able to give to you right now. And this is like, this really flicked for me when the person asked, what would you do if you were starting over again? And that was, have one cook in the kitchen. Yeah. One cook in the kitchen. Have one mentor and follow that person.
Yeah. But
and
actually have one.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And that's the thing. Like, a lot of people look from afar. Like, podcasts are fantastic, and if you're listening to this through a podcast, then we really appreciate you being here, and I really appreciate you watching if you're watching. But also, you've got to understand, is there something else that's missing right now? Because if you're listening to a ton of different podcasts, so this is the way I look at it now when it comes, because I've gotten really diligent on it. I used to be the person that used to listen to absolutely everything, do you know what I mean? Soaking it all in. And there is just-in-time learning, and there's just-in-case learning. Just-in-case learning is you trying to soak in information from absolutely everywhere. Just-in-time learning is I need to know this specific topic, this information to execute on it, and I'm go just all in on that. So when I'm learning about the latest Facebook ad changes, the algorithms, how to set those things up, I'm doing nothing but learning and listening, consuming information just on that.
You're actively pursuing, education on a topic rather than passively just absorbing everything that comes across your way.
Totally.
Right? You're actively targeting, okay, I need to learn this now so that I can implement it now. So go search for it, learn it, implement it, done, move on to the next step.
Over the last decade, I wish that was the one thing I changed.
Yeah.
Because I was just trying to take information from absolutely everywhere.
Yeah.
And the other thing I was thinking about this as well was, I think I was way too biased towards one thing. I might have been on one camp. Do you know what I mean? I was on one team of what was going on, and I was therefore excluding being able to take on information from everybody else. But really it comes down to, are you actually having the support systems? Are you having somebody that's been through what you want to, has achieved what it is that you want to achieve, and therefore what it is that you can simply go, all right, this is my recipe right now. So the way we actually really look at this, and the way like we've designed the coaching program is, okay, we're not trying to give you absolutely everything, because we have disgusting amounts of actual coaching modules and stuff on the back end to be able to give you. Yeah. But it's not about giving you absolutely everything. Let's say you're making a pizza tonight. Fantastic. You go down to the shops. When you walk into the supermarket right now, you don't try and put everything into your shopping trolley, because you just put a lot of ice cream and cornflakes in there as well. But what you want to be able to do is just stick to the ingredients that gets you the recipe. I'm making a pizza. I want just the pizza recipes right now. That's what I'll do, because I know I can come back to the shops to be able to get more when I need it. And that's probably the biggest thing that I've been able to take on. So I'm really, really strict on myself with what information I actually want to take in, and making sure that I'm clear on what it is that I need to know as well.
Yeah, so like I see this all the time. So bring a new coach on board, and they get logins to the Pro Circle site, where we house all of our education, all the modules. There's a lot, right? And so when they sign in there, they're like, whoa, what's all this stuff? Like, there's this module, this section, like websites, scaling, hiring employees, all this stuff. And they're like, oh, I can't click in it. I don't have access, right? Yeah, because you don't need access right now. Yeah. You just need access, right, to what you need to implement in the next 4 weeks. Get that done. Cool. Okay, now we'll access the next step, right? Then access the next step. Is that honestly the best thing that we could ever do for you? Is just not drop you in the middle of some bank of education, right? And it's like, here's everything you could ever need to know to build your business.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. If it doesn't work, then technically it's your fault, because you have all the information you could ever need. But like the reality is, you get in there and it's like, whoa, shiny object syndrome, right? Should I focus on my website first, or whatever? There's no direction. The best thing that you can do is you know, if you're consuming free information from somebody, anybody, could be us, could be somebody else, like choose what direction you want to go. Like have that vision in your head. And free information is great, right? Like we try to put out as much solid, actionable, free information as possible. But it's just like from my personal experience, any business that I've ever pursued or ever tried to build or any endeavor, even my body, right? The only way that I have ever actually pushed the envelope and reached the next level is actually investing in a mentor or seeking them. Like I've spent the past 6 years just flying around the world to learn from people face to face, paying people that have done this over and over again and made the mistakes because I don't want to make mistakes that other people have already made, right? So seek somebody out, just decide. And then that will automatically allow you to narrow your focus and go in for the kill, right? Because you could be taking in information from 5, 6, 7 different channels and influencers, and each of them have like a little bit of a different take on it, right? None of them are wrong. They're probably all right.
Yeah.
Right? There's many ways to get to one single destination. There's a ton of ways. You can skin a cat, like, 10 different ways.
The biggest thing that I like this way would make sense with me and what I used to do with, especially in the physique coaching world. So when I was physique coaching, you'd get someone else sending you a message and say, oh, hey, I'm prepping for this show. Like, can you give me some help? And then you find out that they're actually using another coach. And I'd always be like, out of respect for the other coach, but actually out of respect for your results, I can't put in. Because if you've got somebody else chirping in your ear telling you what to do, then you're following multiple different plans. None of them are going to work.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, like some people, like even with Facebook ads, right? So, a lot of people's coaching programs is based upon the fact that you join up and you just start running Facebook ads right away, right? And we have a completely different approach to that. Like you should be making money, have an established business, have an established funnel system, know that everything's converting, have a tribe of people following you. And then you can, be allowed to actually, launch a Facebook funnel that converts because you know that everything else is working down the line, right? Totally. So there's, both can work. Some, admittedly, some ways are better than others, right? Same with in the physique crowd, but just choose, right? Choose someone that has done it before, that is credible, and learn underneath them. Like that is the biggest thing that I wish that I just did more of. Like I've always done it, but I wish I just did more because I'm always a, that's my problem too, is taking in too much information all at once, right? But then every time I just, relax and be like, okay, enough. I'm just gonna, go learn from this one person. Your progress curve just goes from like this to this.
Hockey sticks up.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
And then, once you get success in that, move on and learn from somebody else in a different area.
Yeah.
Right?
Actually, one piece of advice that I heard recently I thought was really good was get a gold medal in something.
Yeah.
And then you can start pursuing other things. It's like, it comes back to that, like the one thing. The one thing is the one thing. And we're even like discussing, do you know what I mean? What's our 12-month plan going to be from here? And the main thing is the main thing moving forward. But get a gold medal in something. Actually learn and go, right, I want to be able to achieve that. Focus everything in on that. Go straight in for that goal. Get that, and then you can decide on working on something else. One of the biggest mistakes we're constantly seeing, and again, this is the mistake that I used to make over and over, was I was trying so many different things at once. I was trying to run so many different businesses thinking I was an absolute baller. Oh, I'm an entrepreneur. I've got 4 different businesses. I remember saying that at one point. Like and I'm like, they're all shit though. Do you know what I mean? I'd much rather have one killer one and then be able to build out to go for that gold medal. So this is what we've got here for you today. Number 1, get your money map sorted. How are you going to attract? How are you going to actually build relationships? How are you going to sell? How are you going to follow up? And most importantly, what's your high converting offer that really gets people coming to you rather than you chasing them? Then the next step after that, get clear on what it is that you actually want to achieve. And then what is it that your business has to actually be designed for to give you the money, the lifestyle, and everything that you want to be able to do as well. Then make sure that you're only actually consuming information for what it is that you want from the right people. Get that one cook in the kitchen. Do you have a mentor? Do you actually have a support system? Are you actually being surrounded by the environment that is going to help you? Because unfortunately, one of the biggest problems we see, and this is the thing, like becoming a part of the cartel, you don't have to become a part of the cartel, just make sure you have any support system. But like being a part of all the other coaches, it's not the sexy part. Nobody actually comes in thinking that's the important part. But then after about 2 days, they're like, this is it. This is my family. Do you know what I mean? Like,
well, you're literally in a room of people who are on the exact same path as you, have the same mindset, similar goals, right? They have the similar values. And so you all of a sudden it's not just you anymore in this sea of information and nothingness. You now have, like a group, the legion of people that are there to support you. Like in the Coach Cartel, it's awesome. Like people are, just calling amongst each other and making friends and stuff.
Yeah.
And when we have meetups, it's awesome.
Like a big focus for us this year is actually going, what rooms do we want to be in? Where do we want to put ourselves? Who do we want to sit next to? Who do we want to learn? And go to the best of the best to be able to do that as well. Because we know for us to level up and get to that next step, that's what we have to do. That's the number one thing.
Yeah.
So what we want to know, and we want you to comment below, is what is that one goal that you want to achieve in the next 12 months? If we were to talk in the next 12 months from now, what is it that you would want? That one goal that you want to be able to achieve with your online business? Because Josh and I personally want to come in. We want to come in and help. We want to answer you. We personally want to comment back and reply. And also we want to be able to set up the next episodes that we do to actually give you those answers as well. So we really appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much for being here. And we're looking forward to seeing you in the next episode. Make sure that you get the most out of being here, and I want to hear from you. So if you've enjoyed this episode, click like, and make sure I can send you the new episodes each and every week. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Also, I really want to make sure that I'm giving you exactly what you need. So comment below. I want to know what you're going to take away from this episode. And the best conversations after every episode always happen in the Breaking Success Tribe. I'll pop a link below for you to join the free group so you get access to the guides, the live streams. I'm in there answering your questions personally each and every day, plus you get all the episodes as well. So thank you so much for being here and joining us. I'm really looking forward to seeing you in the next episode.